everybody, and welcome to another stream brought to you by me, Tabletop Junkie, who is like currently so damn small in this corner here, so I'm gonna blow myself up. There we go. There we go. Now you guys can see me better, probably. There we go. Sorry about that. It's been one heck of a morning. Trying to get stuff pulled around here. About to do some nice Wednesday morning announcements, because who doesn't like announcements, right? Now, I prefer to do freaking, well, I prefer to do other stuff. like, like actual gaming. But, unfortunately, today I feel like this is going to be the biggest part of my stream, because we do have lots of stuff going down. So, let me get ready to pull up the first one. It is going to take me just a minute, guys. I was somewhat prepared, but I'm still waking up. I had a very late night last night. Which doesn't really help much with... Okay, now I got to figure out where the hell I put it. I made a flyer today, and I've been sharing it to other servers. Oh, here we go. Made the flyer. Here we go. Alright. Yes, Summer of Siege. June events, everybody. I definitely wanted to bring this up and show this on stream. No, not really, Chris. Just work. Work-related stuff, you know. Shit happens. So, Castles and Crusades, the Elarion, my Adventures of Elarion, the Twelvefold Realm, which we are going to host the first season this year. If we can get if we can get Troll Lord Games to bring back Summer of Siege for next year, I will do a season 2, and we will explore a whole new section of the world. If not, I may try to see if I can try to get people rounded up to do it as well, on the behalf of TLG, because what can I say? And I do have coffee, so if you hear me slurping, it's coffee. Very much coffee. What is Summer of Siege? Well, the Siege Engine... Well, Colin, I'm so glad you asked. Well, the Siege Engine, sir, is the Siege Engine that powers Castles and Crusades. That is the actual name of the mechanics behind it. It's actually called the Siege Engine. So the Summer of Siege is an event where we play Castles and Crusades or Amazing Adventure all summer long. As you guys can see, every Friday from June 6th, June 13th, June 20th, and June 27th, we will be playing Castles and Crusades Elarion the Twelvefold Realm. Of which I do already have a group put together for that for now. We tried to do that. Oh, okay, well, I'm not trying to do the slurp, Spartacus. I'm just trying to have some coffee early in the freaking morning, because I didn't go to bed before 3, and I was up before 8:30. Sleep. Who needs sleep, right? All right. So to bring up a few good points here, I already have an adventure for June 6th and June 13th planned. I have to work on June 20th adventure. My goal end game here is to host one adventure and to move my players at least from 1st level to at least 8th level. My I think 8th level. I'm planning to do 5 days in August, 4 days here, and I can only do 2 days in July, or 2, maybe 3 days in July. Unfortunately, July is a hard month for me, because I do actually plan on, well, like when I go on vacation, I actually leave town, and I don't really do much with gaming during that time frame. Plus birthdays, I've got a lot of birthdays that month. It's, so I got to deal with all that, and for God's sakes, like, at least I thank God I have no one in May that is a freaking child, because it got to be new setting, I take it? Yes, setting that I only made for Castles and Crusades. I want to trade shares for only June. Oh, Lord. Wait, what? You want to GM them? I don't know, Mrs. Tabletop. I don't know how well you do with that. Oh yeah, I gotta buy her a chair. I gotta buy her a new chair. Unfortunately, Mrs. Tabletop's going through a lot of health issues still, but we're still trying to do a lot of this, and she's not letting us stop her. She is a fighter. So yeah, I'm hoping, let's see, 5, 4, 9. I'm at least thinking level 8. Level 8 from first level to 8th level. Is what I'm kind of thinking on hosting on stuff like that. It could be even more than 8th level. Oh yeah, and she is going for surgery also in June or July, which also makes a lot of things difficult. I'm hoping more of June, because July work. Oh dear Lord, I can't even begin. July is going to be a horrible month because I have to tear. You know, this is why I thank God I don't have a lot of birthdays for kids in July, because unfortunately I would never get that off, and any time I would get off, I would be spending it somewhere else. I would not have any time for any freaking I would not have any time for anything, not even gaming. So like July would have been easily cooked in toast. But fortunately, we don't have to worry about said case. So here we are. Alright, so this is going to be my June event. Every Friday we are going to host Castles and Crusades, and it's going to be a new setting. I've worked with my players to create this setting. We've thrown so much into it, it's literally a pot of goulash, but I've actually been working on that to make it more into a more gourmet meal. Yes, I'm using food as an analogy, get over it. Alright, so moving on from that, with Summer of Siege coming up, that means we are placing the Chronicles of Paramoor back on hiatus. We were playing a little bit of that, like Chapter 8. I just did a small closed table, just to run some tests on some things, and I saw some different results than I was expecting. So we're going to be moving that, and hopefully we can start getting more and more people back to the fold. I'm going to like make this a little bit smaller because I'm kind of like blurring, like, wow, in your face. Bring people back to the fold, and get things going back on track. Unfortunately, things got a little off track this year, which kind of pissed me off because I was hoping for 2025 to be a better year. It's not been a bad year. It's just been a tough year, and I wasn't hoping for even this rough. A lot of things have came up and change. So, but that is my Castles and Crusades that's my Castles and Crusades announcements. I do have some cool stuff for you guys to actually listen to real quick that you guys may like. Here is a nice hold screen for you while I bring up the next set of stuff.
In the shadow of the keep where the where the map is stained with flame, heroes gather round the table. Every player knows their name. There's a rolling like thunder. The call to arms is clear. From dungeons deep to the war-stained streets, the summer's drawing near. This is the summer of siege. Raise your banner high. With sword and spell, through myth and shell, we'll reach the storm-swept sky. From crusaders bold to gumshoes cold, let your story lead. Grab your friends and light the torch. This is the summer of siege. This is the summer of siege. There's so many alleys of amazing streets where danger plays its lie, and castles echo with battle drums neath the burning summer sky. The codex waits, the runes aglow beneath the haunted tree. Roll your fate, it's not too late to forge your legacy. Draw the map and tell the tale. Let no dream be too far. Every inn, every tomb, every tale etched with scars. The siege is here, but not with fear. It's joy that stirs our fight. We game, we dream, we build a scene until the morning light. This is the summer of siege. Raise your banner high. through myth and shell, we'll reach the storm-swept sky. From Crusaders bold to gumshoes cold, let your story lead. Grab your friends and heed the call. This is the summer of siege. This is the summer of siege. These smoky alleys of amazing streets where danger play. With danger plays through myth and shell, we'll reach the storm-swept sky. From Crusaders bold to gumshoes cold, let your story lead. Grab your dice and heed the call. This is the summer of siege. This is the summer of siege. So tell your tale and cast your die. Let no dream be too far. Envy in every tomb, every tale edged with scars. The siege is here, but not with fear. It's joy that stirs our fight. We game, we dream, we build the scene until the morning light. So tell your tale and cast your die. Let the embers glow. In this siege of stories, we rise as one. Together we grow.
Yo, when the torches are lit and the drawbridge is down, Tabletop Junkies in your YouTube town. Grab your dice and your blade, prepare for raids. We crusading through castles like troll lords may. Step into the keep where the shadows grow deep. Junkies running modules that'll rob your sleep. From Gaxmore ghosts to goblin hordes, he's flipping them pages like a wizard with chords. Ain't no 5th edition fluff in his gait. He's rocking siege engine, old school fate, with a fighter rogue cleric mage in tow. Every challenge is lethal, every plot line's pro. Tabletop junkie rolling them saves, kicking it old school with castles and crusades. Siege engine ready, foes beware. He's streaming on YouTube with that vintage flair. No feats, just grit, no bloated design. Just grit and a torchlight and a treasure to find. Troll lord vibes, let the legends be told. It's that hardcore fantasy, brave and bold. No dragons on leashes, they bite and they burn. And that lick in the tower, yeah, it's Junkie's turn. Roll a D20, beat the CL, or meet your fate at the bottom of a cursed old well. Got maps like scrolls, got traps like doom. Every hallway etched like a roomed up tomb. He's a CK keeper, you better respect. When he lifts that screen, it's a TPK check. He's not playing for clout, he's building a saga. Steel meets soul in this troll lord drama. It ain't about min-max or optimized build. It's the tale you remember, the world that he builds. Tabletop junkie, banner held high. With castles and crusades, he's reaching the sky. On YouTube, he's conjuring fate. A medieval masterpiece, no room for hate. Subscribe, join the quest, hear the call. He's running it raw in the old school hall. Junkie don't bend, and he don't fold. He's rolling them bones like the heroes of old. Junkie rolling them saves, kicking it old school with castles and crusades. Siege engine ready, foes beware. He's streaming on YouTube with that vintage flair. No feats, just grit, no bloated design. Just grit and a torchlight and a treasure to find. Troll lord vibes, let the legends be told. It's that hardcore fantasy, brave and bold. No dragons on leashes, they bite and they burn. And that lick in the tower, yeah, it's Junkie's turn. Roll a D20, beat the CL, or meet your fate at the bottom of a cursed old well. We got maps like scrolls, got traps like doom. Every hallway etched like a roomed up tomb. He's a CK keeper, you better respect. When he lifts that screen, it's a TPK check. He's not playing for clout, he's building a saga. Steel meets soul in this troll lord drama. It ain't about min-max or optimized builds. It's the tale you remember, the world that he builds. It's the tale you remember. Tabletop Junkie, banner held high. With castles and crusades, he's reaching the sky. On YouTube, he's conjuring fate. A medieval masterpiece, no room for hate. Subscribe, join the quest, hear the call. He's running it raw in the old school hall. Junkie don't bend, and he don't fold. He's rolling them bones like the heroes of old.
And that was that. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of the songs while I got this next part together. We are actually going to announce what we're going to start doing on Saturday. So I decided that I was going to run a Saturday game. I'm not too fond of the system or the representation of it sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. And yes, you named it, folks. You guessed it. No, you didn't guess it. Gonna run Avatar Legends, the role-playing game by Magpie Games, starting every off Saturday that I have. I'm a big Avatar fan. I've been an Avatar fan since, since I was a kid and it came out on Nickelodeon. To be honest, it's a problem I often have with sound. Oh, okay, alright. Anyway, yep, so we're going to run Avatar Legends. We actually have, some players put together. I'm still actually... I actually still have a couple open seats, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go with this. I am going to do 12 sessions, and only 12 sessions. So, I am going to limit it. It is going to be a little bit scripted. Not really scripted, as you would think, though. That's not the right term, because none of my stuff is scripted. It's going to be a lot of heavy collaboration. So we do have some ideas where we're going with this. It's going to be less GMing for me and more just collaboration. We're gonna tell you a story. Each person's going to take a turn around the table, and you know, they're going to control their character as well as I'm going to describe the scenes, but also describe what my character is going to do. I am playing a character. I'm playing a character named Funi. Funi, which also means winter love. It was given to him by his father, which I had no name until recently. His father is a member of the Fire Nation. And he is a bender, so he is a firebender. That's where Funi gets it from. Funi is a firebender as well, but he doesn't live in the Fire Nation. His father has decided that, you know, from like age, I don't know what age is exactly, like he's 17 now. I want to say probably from age 0 to 8, probably from like 5 to 9, or even 5 to 10. He was put through heavy education about the Fire Nation, but his dad was heavy into cultures and traditions of both nations. So after a few years growing up with his father, and once he reached a certain age, he was sent to live with his mother in the Northern Water Tribe area, which his mother didn't really... I mean, given the fact that he was a boy and that he was a firebender, his mother did not want him around the waterbenders. Because she's a waterbender, but she originally just wanted, you know, thought he wouldn't be in isolation. Because he's a firebender. He's not going to go to the Water Tribe Academy in the Northern Water Tribe. He's not going to go to, his father likes the exotic women, huh? Yes, yes. I think that's kind of where I'm kind of, you know, I kind of modeled his father after me, becoming the age that I'm becoming. Don't get me wrong, love Mrs. Tabletop, but if anything happens to her, it's either the dating and relationship life is either over for me, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I always liked culture, and learning about different cultures is like a thing for me. So I kind of modeled do gaming. Okay. Anyway, I I kind of modeled this guy after a part of my own personality. Find a nice Inuit woman. And then, you know, it's not just the exactness for me. It's the fact that both of them respect tradition. And so I kind of threw a little bit of Mrs. Tabletop personality into his mother as well. Because at the same time, they both respect culture and tradition beyond all belief. He just did not find anyone he cared about in the Fire Nation. So he did meet a girl from the Northern Water Tribe, had a baby with her. And actually, it's funny because the reason why Fionn is also named Winter Love is because he was conceived during winter. So, and then, that was actually by sheer mistake when I called Book 1, because the Book 1 of this whole campaign is going to be called Book 1 Winter. Would he happen to have 3 half-siblings? No. Unfortunately, his father only had one child, because he wanted to bestow traditions into this one child. He does have this I don't want to say unnatural, unrealistic. I'm talking about his mother. I'm not sure. I haven't really fleshed out his mother too much, because his mother has some issues with his father. If fire and water had a baby, wouldn't that baby be steam? It's possible. So, his mother, being a Water Tribe member, did have a few issues with his father. The issues that she has is what you guys are not going to really think of. The issues that she has is she was cool with not seeing her son, but maybe every so often that she travels to the Fire Nation to pay a visit. Because during this time that we're actually going to be... during this time that these characters are going to play in, all the nations are at peace. This is after the era of Avatar Sato, who was a Fire Nation avatar. And this is 9 years after Yang Chen was born. Avatar Yang Chen, not a realized avatar yet, not have been found by any of the air nomads, but knowing that they are to expect an avatar of, any day now, during this time frame. Yang Chen is only 9 years old and is born within the air nomads. So at this time, I looked up some history on the timeline, and there was some history written because of the books of the Dawn and Legacy of Yang Chen books were published, which I actually do have plans on buying them soon. Probably going to get them today, actually. I kind of do want to get the books of Kyoshi. And, there's 2 Kyoshi books and 1 Roku book I do want to get. But unfortunately, I don't have the money to get all of them today. And the Kyoshi books are the first books. The books are told out of timeline order, because the first avatar before Kyoshi was Yang Chen, Zato, Yang Chen, Karuk, Kyoshi, and which I wouldn't mind also playing in a time of Avatar Karuk, who was a water bender avatar. But in chronological order, it would go Yang Chen, Kyoshi, and Roku. But they went with Kyoshi, Yang Chen, and then Roku. So Yang Chen's kind of thrown in there, but her time was before Kyoshi. So anyway, his mother actually has a lot of problems with his father, because his father believes that, properly educating his son would be the best action, which means he lives with him for a certain amount of years, and then she takes it over. Well, the problem is, with him being a firebender and a water tribe, he's not gonna make a lot of friends. I don't see him making friends. He's not gonna join which, you guys gotta understand, if you guys know anything about the Avatar history, even from the TV show, or even reading up on it, it's customary for waterbenders to go to the Water Tribe Academy in the Northern Water Tribe in the North Pole. If it's also customary that if you're also a woman, you you're not allowed to learn water bending either, which I think is bullshit, and sexist, but that's just me. Problem with Karuk's era is nothing of significance really happened. Yang Chen had done such a good job on creating peace that it lasted through Karuk's era, which allowed Karuk to be a bit of a... Yep, I got it. Yeah, that is true. Yang Chen, egotistical, hot adventure seeker. Yeah, I think that's really what happened. I think Karuk very easily had one issue, and he ended up causing you going into the Avatar state, causing a tsunami, and accidentally killing one of his friends, I think. Or multiple of his friends. So if the tribes don't get along, doesn't that make a bit hard for a multi-tribe party? It's not that they don't get along. It's, right now, they're actually at peace. The Fire Nation, all the nations are at peace. This is going to be an adventure called Civil War. This is when King Faijan and, the Earth King Faijan and General Nog, a military man, actually grows, one grows paranoid, which is Faijan. He grows paranoid of everyone around him while General Nog hates his rule and thinks he's just a pushover and wants a different monarch in charge, so he tries to overthrow and usurp the throne to name himself as self-proclaimed king. General Nog actually has no nobility, or at least there is no record of him having nobility to actually become king. Or I don't even think it's even about that. I think their kings are elected or something like that. But anyway, oh god, where am I leaving off at? So what originally happened was the Earth Kingdom actually becomes fractured at this point, and there is an actual civil war between an old military general and King Faijan himself. So the war, a war begins to start. So as time passes on among the books, which I am going to somehow extend this story out as much as I can with adventures. I could have swore it said that he kind of had that a little bit beforehand. Yeah, he became more paranoid, or at least he was paranoid during the backing, because the Fire Nation and the Water Tribes were secretly backing Nog's rebellion. But it also had to do more or less with the platinum that they were transporting as well. During this time frame of Yang Chen, they actually had trade going on among all the nations. So, including the air nomads. However, the air nomads had decided that they can stand on their own without trade. And when trade was even lopped off, platinum crisis after the rebellion, yeah. And even once trade was lopped off and they began isolation, the air nomads were perfectly okay with that. So, really, it was just 3 nations that had a major issue. General Nog had a huge issue with King Faijan. I don't know I can't remember what really started his thing, but I'm also not trying to reveal too much, Spartacus, because you are part of that campaign as well, and I want to see how you weave your character into this without going into it with hardly any prior knowledge, which also would eliminate metagaming. So, and of course, you know how I hate metagaming. So Funi. Anyway, back to how I was explaining my character. Well, eventually, his mother had to give in and basically take Funi because his father was not taking no for an answer and said that he must learn the culture of the Northern Water Tribe because that's her culture and he must know where he comes from. He is very, very important. He is very adamant about that. So, with that being said, he actually lived from probably age 9 or 10 all the way up to 17 in the Northern Water Tribe. I have no clue what you are talking about. Okay. In the Northern Water Tribe, which actually has played into how he does stuff. I've been reading the rules about how his techniques would work. So he can use Northern Water Tribe techniques, but using it with the element of fire instead of water. and he has adapted his own style of fire bending, using the flow and power of fire with the flow and calmness of water. Don't ask me how that works out entirely. You will actually see how that works, and he's actually able to he makes it work. From how I've been reading the rules and stuff, he makes it work. And he is made with the Foundling playbook, with firebending training. And so yeah, he is a Foundling. Let me share a little bit about Spartacus's character, because Spartacus is in this. So Spartacus and I have been talking for a couple days now about his character, who he has decided to make a earthbender. His name is Golong. He is originally from the Earth Kingdom, Ba Sing Se, and now he's living in a village. He's exiled. His character comes from basically the background of crime bosses within Ba Sing Se, and unfortunately, he is like, nope, I'm not going to do this, because he's got older siblings and parents that would actually use his skills as an earthbender. And not only that, he is a special character. He has actually chosen a very special playbook called the Destin. He is set up for a part in Destiny where he knows for a fact he's not... he hasn't fully realized it, but from his education, he is pretty sure that he's not the Avatar. Could he think he's the Avatar? I'm going to leave that up to Spartacus, but I feel like his character could get a misrepresentation if he doesn't fully realize what his abilities are or what his destiny is. But his character, being the part of the Destined playbook, has a sense of feeling from nature. There is something wrong in the world. He doesn't know what it is. He can sense it. He can feel it. The world feels sick. There's a wound. It's just stabbing at him. And he's like, he knows he's supposed to make it. However, given the fact that even though his family's a crime family, alright, awesome, alright. Mrs. Tabletop's got to head out for an appointment. Be safe, Mrs. Tabletop. Even though, from his education, he knows the last known Avatar was Zato, the Fire Nation. So if he has any knowledge, which can be given by pure education, is the... Not to say I'm metagaming, but when I know that I'm not the Avatar, given the next element in the cycle is air. Yes. That's what I was actually about to get to. I was about to say, given his education and that this knowledge is actually common knowledge in all cultures, the next Avatar is air. So he knows it's not him, it's someone in the air nomads. He just doesn't understand fully why supernatural forces has chosen him. He just knows there's something wrong and he wants to fix it. His family's biggest personal gain by hurting people is basically to gain wealth and political power and possibly more outside of the Earth Kingdom. Oh, I actually had a spelling error right here and I want to correct it because it's bothering the shit out of me. So he's basically living in exile. Upon exiling himself from Ba Sing Se, he comes near the floating village of Dayu, which is where he's decided to stay for the next for at least 2 years. Upon reaching Dayu and being there for 2 years, he comes across an old hermit man named Master Lamu. Master Lamu is actually an earth sage and philosopher from Ba Sing Se. After disagreeing with the monarchy's militarization, he decided to make a stone hut for himself outside of the floating market of Dayu, which is actually a small village that's a little bit on water, but there's enough land somewhere where you can actually make something. He used his earthbending capabilities and made himself a stone hut. There Master Lamu has decided to just stay there and stay out of, history's way. However, he comes across this young man, Golong, and Golong, he tries to guide Golong with his destiny and trying to figure out what it is. Which tribe are the Space Smurfs? Oh, wait, that's a different avatar. Yeah, okay. We don't have... Yeah, I was about to say, really? Really, Con? You didn't know that? I actually cannot wait to see how Spartacus plays Golong. Golong was made, again, with the Destiny Playbook and Earthbending Training. I can't wait to see how he actually plays him. And what flavor his character is going to be bringing to the table. Because with that being said, there is a lot of possibilities going forward with now that kind of being said. One more player who joined the table actually came up with a character last night, which is basically enough for me to basically talk about here. But does create a little bit of a continuity error, but I guess we can figure that out later. Is Tails Knight, who came up with Kavik Sedna. So, Kavik is a 24-year-old academy student, which creates a lot of problems, because usually by this time you become a recognized waterbender in the Northern Water Tribe. So he's a citizen and member of the Northern Water Tribe, and he's a waterbender. He joined the academy where he honed and perfected his skills as a waterbender. From a young age, he showed basically a strong aptitude for control on waterbending. However, he was never given a pass to graduate the academy. Now the oldest student of the academy, and is given a task to see if he truly perfected his skills as a waterbender. Kavik had the unfortunate event of witnessing innocent people being imprisoned by a corrupt waterbender known as Jean-Pierre, a noble of the Northern Water Tribe, which has attempting for years to securing his spot on a high-ranking seat for political affairs with the Northern Water Tribe itself. No one really knows his goals for sure. He just has been imprisoning those in his way. Many people, innocent, all statuses of nobility and not nobility, has been falsely imprisoned. During this time, another Water Tribe member, known as Vesik, also a waterbender, and was the headmaster of the Northern Water Tribe Academy, stood in his way, as that he kind of noticed what he was trying to do, because if Jean-Pierre gets in a high-ranking position, it's possible he can also control how the academy works. Well, unfortunately, Vesik was knocked out from his post and status of nobility and position with the Northern Water Tribe. He is now nothing more than a mere teacher. And another person was placed in his replacement. With Vizhik with the fall of Vizhik and the rise of Jean, Kavik's mother has basically taught Kavik the advanced waterbending techniques as well. Jean has had his eye on Kavik since his face expressions that he saw Vizhik could be his teacher. He knows that Kavik views Vizhik as a hero. So Jean used his abilities and his status to basically fail Kavik at every single turn. His mother later carved him a moonstone for him as he begins his adventure as a waterbender. Basically, with this new thing coming up, it is very possible that if he goes out into the world and does one thing good, he will be passed as he will graduate from the academy officially, regardless if the tests are rigged or not. This is a test that actually will be overseen by people that is not Jean or Vizhik or his mother. And depending on how they hear, and basically it's going to be the witnesses for this test is going to be the world. If they hear news of his goodness and greatness, they're going to give him a pass. And that is actually coming from the highest ranking official in the Northern Water Tribe, which actually forces Kavik to be basically part of the adventure in a sense. But also, it's very possible that Kavik does know about my foundling, because they're both part of the Northern Water Tribe right now, and he knows Funi, and knows that Funi has been in isolation. This is probably not the right section to mention that Bender over here has a similar connotation to the short word for cigarette. Oh, dear Lord. Probably not, because we're talking about a show. It's called Avatar, The Last Airbender. You can look it up. Avatar Legends, you can look it up. We have the internet there, Colin. And I know you do too. So those are, and you know what, each character that we've all made, we've actually all accidentally have brought in at least 1 to 2 NPCs each. Plus all the main NPCs that are going to be playing a main opposition factor in the, in this campaign. I plan on having this campaign as multiple seasons. Right now, we're just going to see how Book 1 works, and then I'll be moving on to Book 2. With, right now, we have members of the Water Tribe, the Earth Kingdom, and Fire Nation, but nothing for the Air Nomads. But that could change very easily. Alright, well, with that said, moving on to the final announcements for today. I do have one more announcement that I am going to make, and it is going to be bringing in. I am trying to do more with. What's the term I'm looking for? I'm trying to do more with. Oh Lord, with independent game writers, because they do need a lot of recognition going out there, a lot of advertising. We're kind of going back to Lone Wolf Fist. I'm not sure when this is going to happen. I am going to make it happen, starting possibly in September, along with a few other things. This will be another Saturday event only, as that my Fridays are going to pretty much be reserved for Castles and Crusades, and strictly Castles and Crusades. I'm going in and supporting Troll Lord Games 110% on everything that we're all currently doing. Oh, I'm sorry. I just received a message that I need to read, actually, at a moment. I do apologize for pausing. But anyway, Lone Wolf Fist is actually going to be a game that we're going to start up in, like I said, the fall. And it will be a Saturday event, as that Friday event is going to be reserved for Castles and Crusades strictly. So, this will actually be more or less down the road, but I have to, but I'm actually working on organizing how all this is going to work, because like I said, I do want to try some other games, and I want to do them with real live players. This one, there is also the Pirates one. Yeah, that one I'm trying to work in Spartacus. There's kind of, like I said, a lot going on, and with the events that we're doing this summer, and also the one guy why does a lot of AI art on X. Oh yeah, Corpse King. Yeah, that one, unfortunately, I'm trying to give independent writers. I may just have to stick with some one-shots. Like I said, I'm coming up with some plans now, and I'm coming up with a schedule for myself to follow. I think at this point, that's all I have going on. Like I said, I definitely wanted to promote Joe Clark, because he is coming out with a new book, which was fully funded months ago. And he's just been, just make sure, like, he knows, like, hey, he's going to keep writing, just give him some small support here that I can give. All right, with that said, I am going to, I have one last thing to say. And I do, stay tuned for the outro, because I do have a cool outro. Hopefully, people from Troll Lord Games hear this, because I kind of made it for them. Other than that, that's everything that I have. I can't talk no more. My throat is raw as ever, and I'm sucking down this coffee like none other. Man, it is like, I woke up this morning, it was like freezing in my house. I don't know why. Like, this weather just does not want to let go. The cold air is trying to stay. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Those are my announcements for today. And you guys have a great, wonderful day, and enjoy yourselves.
Yo, deep in the dungeon where the brave don't flinch comes a crew rolling deep with their siege engine clinch. No dragons too mean, no king too tall. It's castles and crusades and we answer the call.
Tabletop Junkie with the crown and screen, rolling with CNC, no D20.
Yo, deep in the dungeon where the brave don't flinch comes a crew rolling deep with their siege engine clinch. No dragons too mean, no king too tall. It's castles and crusades and we answer the call. Yo, deep in the dungeon where the brave don't flinch comes a crew rolling deep with their siege engine clinch. No dragons too mean, no king too tall. It's castles and crusades and we answer the call.
Tabletop Junkie with the crown and screen, rolling with CNC, no D20 lean. He's the castle keeper, story weaver supreme, crafting quests so lethal they'll rip your dream. No feats, no fluff, just sword and grit. And his table got the legends who never quit. From dungeons to wilds, he sets the stage. Troll Lord blessed, turn the page. Like Spartacus steps in, heavy armor, no fear, smiting down chaos, bringing honor near. With a war cry loud and a 20 glare, he'll cleave through a demon with divine flair. No fix, no fluff, just sword and grit. And his table got the legends who never quit. From dungeons to wilds, he sets the stage. Troll Lord blessed, turn the page. Spartacus steps in, heavy armor, no fear, smiting down chaos, bringing honor near. With a war cry loud and a 20 glare, he'll cleave through a demon with divine flair. Miss Tabletop Pro, queen with flair, picking locks in the dark, traps don't dare. She moves like shadow, dagger in hand, stealing the spotlight with every strand. Fox tails, night drops down, Cyberfox reborn, implanted steel from a soldier storm. From lasers to loops, he's a bard of might, telling tales with sparks in the moonlight. It's Tabletop Junkie, siege ready squad, rolling on YouTube like true demigods. With Christmas tea and tales at his side, they conquer CNC with Paramoor pride. Troll Lord games let the banners rise, we earn in our glory beneath fantasy skies. Grace, Chuck, Davis, and Steve, they see we're keeping the flame of old school free. Grace hands the scroll with a nod so wise. Your tales, Junkie, reach castle high skies. Just sharpens the sword and declares the fight. Your rolls are raw and your world feels right. Davis pours hail, says you honor the game, while Steve carves your name in the Hall of Fame. Troll Lords rise, race tankers and cheers. You brought the siege engine through the years. So light the torches, let the dragons beware. Tabletop Junkie's got the bravest out there, with Spartacus bold and his teeth so sly, and tails night howling neath the crimson sky. We ain't just playing, we live these crusades with dice in our hands and Troll Lord blades. The castle stands tall, the legends are tight. This is YouTube's realm of honor and fight. The torches, let the dragons beware. Tabletop Junkie's got the bravest out there, with Spartacus bold and his teeth so sly, and tails night howling neath the crimson sky. We ain't just playing, we live these crusades with dice in our hands and Troll Lord blades. The castle stands tall, the legends are tight. This is YouTube's realm of honor and fight. One crew, one epic tale. Tabletop Junkie, where the heroes prevail.